famous, but it's a funny one because people who are into the paranormal, no matter where they are in the country, have heard of Bunting Nook. It's kind of got that reputation.
So did you get her okay?
Yes, fine, yeah. I'm Adrian Finney, I'm 39. I was a primary school teacher, but I'm kind of getting more into writing full time now. Ever since I was a little kid, I've just always had that fascination. There were a series of documentaries sort of in the late 80s and early 90s on TV with Michael Aspel.
According to a recent survey, nearly half the people in this country believe in ghosts.
And he kind of like, I remember you'd watch them over and over and over, like you'd VHS them and tape them. And there were a bunch of Usborne books as well, like Books of the Unknown. They had one on ghosts and one on UFOs. And just as a kid, I just ate that stuff up. I live about 5 minutes walk away, and I just thought, I'm just start researching and looking into what's on your doorstep, especially when it's got a reputation as one of England's most haunted roads. I'd like to believe, but I haven't seen that thing yet that's pushed me over. I think it's more getting a fascination in the paranormal. It's like you're searching for something you want to believe in. The story is what matters really, and how they get passed down from generation to generation. The old belief was the first soul buried in a graveyard would be anchored to that graveyard forever. They wouldn't be able to move on, but they'd be assigned the role of protector spirit. But because nobody wanted to deny a human soul going up to heaven, they used to breed dogs specifically for the purpose, like big vicious guard dogs, and then they'd sacrifice them when they laid the ground stones to the church, which I think probably a hangover from more pagan times. And there's been a few archaeological digs around Yorkshire that's found in these old churches that underneath the foundation stone have been skeletons of dogs. But so that's what I think's happening at Bunting Nook. It's a church grim, so it's kind of a protection spirit who protects the church, and sometimes he might appear to people who are a bit on the sort of a bit immoral, shall we say, and scare them onto a better path. There's what's now a nursery at the bottom end of it. And it's a beautiful old sort of late 17th century building, because it was originally built as a manor house. And the wife there, I think it was 1796, 1797, went into labour, and all of the staff had been given the weekend off. So her husband decided that he'd go and seek help. So the local legend says that he jumped on his horse, and rather than ride round the fence, he thought he'd save 20 seconds by jumping over the fence. As he did so, the black dog appeared and spooked the horse, and he fell off and broke his neck, killing himself. And what I always was told, or the way that it was always told to me, was that the woman then died in childbirth. However, I managed to sort of get into the church records at St James Norton, and it turns out she didn't. She actually got help and she did survive, so that's kind of how that got stretched. The most recent sighting that I've been made aware of was 2017. And there was a woman driving down, and as she was driving down to pick her daughter up from her boyfriend's house, who were just upon Warminster Road, she thought, I'll drive down there knowing the reputation. And as she went down, she had the typical car stalling and looked in front of her and saw but interestingly, she described it as a small black dog ahead of her, whereas normally it's described as a dog the size of a horse. She kind of screamed, panicked, the dog disappeared, and then the car started up again. So she was quite freaked out by it. Yeah, I think when it comes to ghost stories, like I said about the matter of belief, in a way it doesn't matter if you believe or not, because the stories themselves are what's important. And because they're always dark tales, they're always a little bit of morality tales almost. Don't do bad things or bad things will happen. So perhaps it doesn't matter if they're true or not. What matters is the story.